Hey YouTube, today we are going to learn how to create a new item within the eBay Turbo Lister software. So there's a couple different ways that you can go about creating an item within Turbo Lister. The first one is you can go up to this new Starburst button and click the down arrow. You can create a new item from here. You can also do it through this new item. Multiple items is something separate. We'll get to that in a later video. I like just to click the new button, create new items. So when this happens, a new window is going to populate and it allows you to create your product. It's very similar to the eBay website. It's got a very clear layout and flow, title, subtitle, category. I mean, everything's pretty solid. Up here, if you had installed different eBay sites, you could use this drop down to switch to the different sites, or you could add additional sites now. That's going to prompt you to run updates, by the way. We'll just stick with the eBay site for now. We'll go ahead and just give it a test title. The subtitle, you want to be careful about this one. There is a charge for a subtitle. I believe it's currently $1.50 per subtitle. So it's pretty steep. I mean, even if you accidentally put a space in there or a period or something, it's going to count it as a subtitle. I personally steer away from the subtitles myself. The category area, if you know your category's number, because every eBay category has a numeric value associated with it, you could just type it in. So for example, 3120 is going to be a test category. Basically, I just typed in the number and then used the tab button to step off of the test. Step off of the category area. And so you can do it that way if you know the number, but really how many of us know the number? Also, if you use different categories over and over again, you can select from the drop down. It keeps some recent ones that you would have done. Otherwise, you're going to go over here to the select button. It's going to open up this browse tree category area. So basically, if you know what you're looking for, say you're doing nonfiction or fiction books or whatever, you can come up to books. You're going to drill down to wherever it is that you need to go. The thing about eBay categories is that you need to drill down as far as you possibly can go. So for example, you couldn't just say books accessories. That's not going to accept it. You need to, if there's a plus sign next to it, you got to click it. You got to keep drilling down. So, bookends or whatever. The other way that you could do it is search categories if you're not quite sure what your category should fit in. So we'll just do baby car seat. You could do a search for whatever it is. It's going to show you the relevant categories that are available to you. Sometimes what I like to do is just go directly to the eBay website, type in my search, and then look on the left-hand side of the screen to see what has the most entries. Because if people are looking for a certain thing, you're going to want your items where everyone else is putting them. So for example, let's just say we'll do baby strollers though. All right, now, some people also, I should mention, like to start out with their selling format first. It's got auction, fixed price, motors, classified ads. Pretty much the most that you guys will be using would be auction or fixed price items. You don't tend to run into too many people who lists motors, best offers, or classified ads through Turbo Lister. We'll just leave it on auction for now. Your start price is going to be the lowest amount that you would be willing to accept for your product. So in this case, let's say that we have a super cheap stroller, so we're going to say 99 cents. However, let's also say your duration, you're going to go 7 days instead of 1 day or 3 days or what have you. And if some folks don't want to wait for the auction to be over, they're going to want to do what's called buy it now. So let's say that you're going to say that somebody can buy it straight away for $250. That's what the buy it now is. The reserve price, this is for auctions only. It doesn't happen on just flat out fixed price items. The reserve price is an amount that you can set that you wouldn't be responsible for selling your item unless it hit that amount. So a lot of times folks will use this if they're listing high-end items, but they want to start the auction really low because they're trying to gather a lot of attention for their product. So let's say they started at 99 cents, but they really don't want to sell it until it, hits $1,000, let's say. So we'll just get rid of that. So this means that people can bid on your item starting at 99 cents, but you wouldn't be on the hook to sell it unless they get to the $1,000 price. It'll say that if someone's looking at your item and they've made a bid on it, it'll just say that the reserve has not been met yet. The thing about the reserve price is there's a fee associated with that. I think it used to cap out at $15. I'm not sure what it still caps out at, if it's still $15 or if it's something else. And you can really quickly accrue fees with the reserve price. So to my way of thinking, if you know you don't want to let something go until it hits a certain amount, just start your auction out at that or roughly around there. Because a lot of people, it makes them mad with the reserve price. They're like, well, what is the reserve price? Or you get a lot of emails saying, what's your reserve at? And depending on what kind of a business you're running, that can get really old really quickly. So, but personal preference. But again, there's a fee associated with the reserve. So we'll go back and put this in here. Duration I briefly touched on. With auctions, it's only 1, 3, 5, 7, and 10. If you were to go fixed priced, though, you have a couple other options in here. You'll see that in just a minute. So you don't have a 1 day anymore, but you still have 3, 5, 7, and 10. You also have 30 days in GTC. GTC stands for Good Till Canceled. This is just like the website, folks. It's not anything new to TurboLister. Good Till Canceled is going to relist itself every 30 days with an additional, you're going to get charged an insertion fee every 30 days, but you won't have to relist it. So let's go back to auction. Okay. If you wanted to, you could click this box to keep your bidders' IDs private from being displayed to everyone. Generally, I tend to see this most often in the everything else adults only category because they don't want, feedback being left and someone seeing that they just bought some adult items on eBay. So if you keep it private like this, it's not going to show what the item was that was bought. If you end up getting feedback, no one can see, what the purchase price was, anything like that. If you do donate to charities, you can do that here. I don't have anything selected, but you can select a new one if you wanted to. Over here is a second category. So let's say that you wanted to list in strollers as well as, baby other. You could do a secondary category here. You do it the same way. The thing is, you will be charged an additional fee for second categories. It's, I believe, 10 cents extra for every second category that you use for every item. If you have an eBay store, you can go ahead and select which category you want to put this item in. You can see here I already have some different stuff loaded up. If you do have a store and you make a change to your categories, let's say on your eBay store, and you're not sure why they're not populating to your TurboLister, you need to make sure that you're running updates on TurboLister every time you make a change to your eBay account. You do that up here in your Tools menu. You just do Tools, check for Program Updates, and that will populate your new store categories. If you're getting prompted, eBay's recently made a change where you have to have UPC codes on a lot of categories. So if you have the UPC code, you can put it here. If you don't have it, generally there's a does not apply feature here, which I need to run updates on mine because we're not seeing right now. But there should be something that says does not apply that you can select here as well. Variations, if your category supports variations, you can create them here with this button. If your category does not support variations, you just won't see this variation area because not every eBay category allows for variations. If you have a brand, perhaps eBay has it in their catalog, so you can always search for the product type or model or brand here. So for example, if we just type in Graco and do a search on it, it's going to search the eBay catalog to see if there's any matching information in there. This can take, a minute or so to communicate back and forth with eBay. So as you can see, they found 291 matches just for Graco. And you can tell it if you want to include stock images, pre-filled titles, additional information. If you do decide you want to use something, you do need to click the select button. It's then going to change to selected. I'm going to select next. And then it's going to take you to the item specifics portion of TurboLister. So you can see here, because we selected something from the catalog, all this information is already filled out. I mean, we could select if it's gender or unisex or, boys, girls, whatever. Country, region. I don't usually do the country or region of manufacturer, but you can if you like. You can also add your own item specifics. So you just click that. You can put in whatever you want to call it, item specifics 1, and then whatever value you wanted, value. So if you had something else that you wanted to add that wasn't already in here, you could just create it yourself. I don't want it, so I'm just getting rid of it. Also, if you know that you're supposed to be seeing something, but you're not seeing it, such as MPN or brand or anything like that, you can click the Get Suggestions button, and that's going to populate fields that may not show up automatically. So that's a good thing to remember, is the Get Suggestions. And then you're going to click Done. So this information is going to populate up here in your details section. Again, this information right here was pulled from the eBay catalog, which is kind of neat. This condition description area is contingent upon what condition you select. If you select new, it's going to go away because it's new, so you don't have to tell folks, what might be different about it. Anything new, other, used for parts, that's going to have this condition description area. You want to make sure that you're just leaving information regarding the condition itself, not using it like another description section of the listing itself, like, oh, everybody loves this item. You want to put information in here like, it's scratched, it has chips on the backside, it's got a hairline fracture, something like that, just so people can, it's just to describe the condition. We'll go ahead and put new. You'll notice that there's already an image in here. This came from the stock image that's in that's in the eBay catalog. If you had other images you wanted to do, you could just click here, navigate to wherever your images are stored. You could insert them from there. If you do self-hosting, you click Customize, Self-Hosted Pictures, click OK. Takes a minute to load. There we go. You can say picture URLs. So, sorry about that, folks. So within here, you can put in your addresses, your URL links for your images. You want to keep in mind that only the very first picture is used for the gallery when you're doing self-hosting. Every other image that you may use is actually going to show up at the bottom of your description section when using self-hosted images. Go ahead and put this back. The description area. Now, you don't want to write in here. The reason is because this is actually an HTML text box. So if you have your HTML code, by all means, go ahead and drop it in there. A lot of people will say, I'm going to type here, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this. And then when they load it to eBay, everything is all run together. And that's because it's reading it as plain text at that point. There's no formatting whatsoever because this is the HTML box. So what you're going to want to do instead is click Description Builder. That's going to bring this window up. You have the design view, HTML view, and then a preview. So the nice thing about the design view is that it's a what you see is what you get editor. So if you wanted to change your font or your color or whatever, you could do that here. If maybe you want to change the color, we'll just say red. And then it gives you the HTML view. So even if you don't know HTML, you can do all your stuff here. It's going to automatically code it on the back end. Preview is going to show you what it looks like. This is the listing designer. There is a fee that's associated with it, just like on eBay. Inserts, also just like on eBay, you can create your own. So this is stuff that maybe you use over and over again that you just want to drop in. You can create your own or use the presets that they have here. You're also going to notice that there are images here that you can use. You can also select a counter if you like. Let's go ahead and save that. So again, you'll notice in here that this is now turned to HTML coding. So a lot of people will also get a little concerned because they'll create something in the description builder and then suddenly it just looks like gibberish to them. And so they worry that it's not going to turn out properly. Well, that's just the HTML coding. And then the bottom of this still has the include, information. You can have a custom label. So a custom label is going to be your personal SKU number, perhaps. It can really be whatever you want. A lot of folks use it for a SKU number to manage their inventory. So you can just put your SKU in there if you like. Coming back up here. So listing upgrades. There are charges for these, Gallery Plus, Bold, with the exception of Gallery Plus. And there's like four or five different eBay categories that has Gallery Plus attached to it automatically, and you don't get an associated fee with it. It's like the collectibles, pottery and glass arts. There might be I think there's a fourth one. But anyway, so if you're listing in those categories, collectibles, pottery, glass arts, and you're unselecting this, but every time you come back in, the Gallery Plus is still selected, that's because you can't unselect Gallery Plus from those categories. It's automatically going to reselect itself. Every other category you list in, yeah, you can unselect, but with those particular categories, it's always going to be selected. And then you can go to your shipping information. Just like on eBay, you have flat calculated, local pickup freight. You can put your weight in if you want. You choose your various package types. So let's just say 20 pounds because we have a stroller, and let's just say it's 20 pounds. So 20 pounds, it's always best to put in, even if it's a 0, just put your zeros in. If it's in regular or unusual package, click that. You select your shipping service, standard shipping. I'm not sure why the e-packets from China and Hong Kong are here. It's not available on the website to select this, so I have a feeling that's a glitch right now. But you can choose anything else. You can do free shipping if you wanted to. You put in your cost. Let's just say $5. Again, you can add a surcharge to Hawaii, Alaska, or Puerto Rico, because it maybe costs a little bit more to ship there if you wanted to. You could do additional shipping services, because maybe UPS is going to be $5, but you want to do, I don't know, expedited. Not sure why it's showing international here, but let's just say 1-day shipping. And so then you want to give it a different price. So you can have multiple shipping services that your buyers can select from, just like on eBay. Buyers can pick up the item from you here. If you have flat or calculated shipping rules, you can select them at this place. You're going to select a handling time. This is for the international or the global shipping program. You can select it if you're enrolled in that or if you want to use it. If you wanted to do additional shipping outside of the global shipping program, you could select that here. So let's just say we're going to do, Priority Mail International. Just like on eBay, when selecting international, you can either select custom locations or worldwide. You would select, wherever you wanted to ship it to. I'm going to go ahead and put this back. Now, item location, sometimes folks will call in because they need to change their zip code, or they're shipping it from a different state, or they want to charge sales tax, and there's no way here to click into it. That's found under this shipping options button. Sorry guys, you'll learn when you use TurboLister that it goes to a not responding state somewhat frequently. That's nothing to worry about though. So again, it goes over domestic, international, all that good stuff. If you wanted to get it fast available, you'd have to do a domestic expedited service and 1-day handling. So I do have that. I'm not sure why it's not recognizing it. Again, TurboLister can be quirky. Sometimes it doesn't like the selections, but otherwise you'll be able to select that. Sales tax, you cannot charge. You can charge for single state, or if you have your rules set up on your eBay account, you select here. Same with locations. You can change your zip code, country, that kind of thing. This is your payment area. Just like on eBay, you don't want to select these merchant credit cards unless you actually have an agreement, a third-party agreement. with Visa or MasterCard, that kind of thing. Maybe you have authorized.net set up, then you'd be able to use these, but otherwise it's going to throw an error up to you when you try to upload your listing. So you can just do credit cards via PayPal. If you're doing a buy it now for your item, you can go ahead and do the immediate payment. And then if you wanted to do, well, you'd have to do a return policy, but you can have a return policy of no returns if you like. And then here is just your buyer requirements. You can set it if they don't have a PayPal account. If they've had so many unpaid items within a certain amount of time, you can set all that up in here. And then when you're ready, you click Save. And then you have created your first item, and that's going to show up in your inventory area. Your items are going to be here. If you've created templates, and we'll get to that later, that's going to be there, but your items will show up. We created this item in the My Items folder. Any subfolders under all items, you're actually going to be able to see all the items, including any items in subfolders here. So we created it under the My Items folder, but you can see it in either of these folders. Then when you're ready to upload your item, you're going to select your item. You're going to click Add to Upload. And you can either choose to return to the inventory, or you can go upload. This listing right here, what happens is a copy of the listing's made and it gets sent to the waiting to upload area. It doesn't remove it from your inventory, it's just a copy that's made that's sent here. So some folks like to, one at a time, do an upload, send it to the waiting to upload, and then work on some more. Some people like to go upload immediately. If you click go upload, it's going to take you to your waiting to upload area. Now, in order to actually upload it to eBay, you would need to click the upload button. Now, upload all is going to grab anything that's in this view, regardless of whether or not it's highlighted. If you only wanted to select a certain item or a certain few, you would highlight those certain few items, use the drop-down menu here, upload selected. That's what you would do in that case. What's going to happen is it's going to calculate fees and it's going to check for any errors. Provided there are no errors, it's going to give another button that's called Upload Now. So let's go ahead and try that. So there were no fees here. It tells you how much your fees are going to be. If you qualify, they'll be applied after. Another thing that folks worry about is they have a promotion. Maybe they have 500 free listings due to their eBay store, and they still see they're going to get charged a fee. TurboLister does not recognize promotions on your eBay account, so it's always going to show you how much the item would have cost. You won't get charged on the back end, provided you meet the criteria of any promotions happening, but it still will always show you what you're going to be charged. If you are ready to upload, you would do Upload Now, and that's what actually starts the transfer process of your item from TurboLister to eBay. I'm not going to do that right now because I don't need to list this test item, but that is how you create and list an item on TurboLister.